What's good, guys? Alex at Hypno Tech. How you doing? We have the iPhone 7. This is the iPhone 7 we've all been waiting for. Everybody's been very excited about this. We finally got one in our hands. I want to thank Martin Go. He's a very good friend of mine. He just got this phone and he graciously lent it to us to unbox. I do want to note, however, too, that this is a Verizon phone. So he uses Verizon and they got this last night. And it is a little different because it is unsealed, it is open. They opened it at the store last night to put the CDMA SIM card in there because Verizon is a little different than GSM. Like Lita and I, we purchase unlocked phones, so we go through the entire experience ourselves. But a lot of carriers do help you open up the phone and put in your SIM card. T-Mobile does that as well if you need the help. But that's what we got here. They set up the phone for them, so it is a little different than what you're used to seeing on our channel. But still, it is a new phone, and I'm very excited to take a look at it. So, let's check it out. Roll that intro. Alrighty, we got the iPhone 7. This is a nice black color, so this replaced space gray. A lot of people are really into this color here. It's not the jet black one, but I still really like this black color. So Martin made a good choice picking this one. And very typical iPhone experience box here. We got an iPhone, Apple logo, very symmetrical, very clean. On the back, we have a little bit of the specs. We do have a 128GB model here. This is, of course, as always, with the iPhones, the lower iPhones, not the Plus, the regular iPhones. We have a 4.7-inch display, good for what they call a Retina display of 750 pixels by 1334. So not, yeah, that just barely qualifies as HD, but of course we don't really care about that when it comes to Apple products. They just call it Retina and everybody goes crazy thinking it's high definition. It is still high definition. We got a new camera. Back camera is 12 megapixels. So very interested to check out the camera. I would definitely have Martin do a review for us in the future. And we also have 2 gigabytes of RAM here. We are confirmed to have 2 gigabytes of RAM, so the same as the iPhone 6s. That upgraded 2 gigabytes is better than that one from the previous generations. And we have a new Apple A10 Fusion chip. So very excited to see how fast that is. Definitely very cool. And we also have a 1960 milliamp battery. So this is less than 2,000 milliamps. But you know what? The A10 is very efficient. So, or Apple processors are always very efficient. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a at least decent battery life. So pulling it up, we have a different experience here. We don't see the phone right away. We actually have the pamphlet. Let's pull that up. And there we go. There's the phone. But here is a pamphlet, the pamphlet sheet. It says, designed by Apple in California. So let's see what we got in here. There's nothing covering it. You can just pull it out. And, wow, okay, cool. So it says, welcome to the iPhone. And then features, it highlights the haptic feedback home button. So the Touch ID is different now. It's no longer a physical button. We have some Apple stickers, of course, and SIM tray remover, which, as I stated before, they actually already put the SIM card in there. Verizon did that, and so we don't need to worry about this stuff. Let's just put it back in nicely to the side, and right here we have the iPhone with this new home button here. So they had to remove the headphone jack for this haptic feedback engine, haptic engine. So just like the MacBooks, we'll set the phone aside and let's look at the accessories. So this is another controversial thing that Apple has done. They removed the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, but we still get Apple headphones. So no longer do we have an enclosed little box here. Instead, it's in the open. These are the AirPods that we are very accustomed to. These are wired to, these are just regular headphones, I believe, right? Yes, these are regular headphones with the, yeah, just regular AirPods, but they do give you a dongle here, so you can use your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, 3.5 millimeter connector, and use it as a dongle, through a dongle. And so it's a little flimsy. It's not Kevlar, it's just a regular material. So yeah, I'm thinking you might go through a few of those if you do a lot of headphone listening. So we also have our power brick, very standard Apple stuff, and our lightning cable. So I was also very disappointed that they didn't go with USB-C. If they were being courageous, they should have went with USB-C because USB-C is the future. But well, USB is the future and current future, so everybody's using USB-C. But we have the iPhone here, very beautiful. It's already, like I said, it's already a little fingerprinty because it was removed yesterday by Verizon, and we checked it out. But take a look at this. This is a beautiful, beautiful looking phone. I do want to note too that I did wipe this down, and my fingerprints are already starting to smear it already. So very, very fingerprint magnety phone. But it has the iPhone here, very traditional looking iPhone. Very nice. Okay, so let's take a look at it. We have the toggle here for the volume. For the silencing and the notification toggle here. So very cool. They kept that there. And then we have volume rockers. Very sturdy, very reminiscent of other phones. It's a very high quality design. And as you can see here, we have finally stereo speakers, it appears. Stereo speakers finally on the iPhones, but they're both bottom firing. So they are flanked by a lightning cable slot right here in the center. So very symmetrical. Everything looks really nice. And then of course the home button, which isn't a button anymore. It's just like the MacBooks where they have the haptic engine here. So I'm pressing it. I don't feel anything. It's stiff. It feels like I'm clicking a rock. Cannot move it. Once you turn on the phone, you'll be able to actually feel some feedback. And of course, we have the SIM right here, SIM slot right there, and then the power button in its traditional Apple format right here. And nothing at the top, no headphone jacks, of course, because they removed the 3.5mm headphone. And on the back, it looks like we have a camera hump, once again, with that brand new camera here. Very, very interested to test out this camera. And, of course, the Apple logo right there. So, very nice. Camera humps, I am not a big fan of camera humps. And this one is a little bit different from the iPhone 6s. It doesn't seem like it has a rim. It just seems... Well, I guess it does. It's just like a slight rim. It's not very noticeable, but it just feels more like a pimple that's popping up here instead of having like a protected rim. I've had bad experiences with... camera humps. My OnePlus 3, the camera... actually shattered in the back. The camera lens actually shattered, so I sent it in for repairs. But yeah, I don't even know how I did it. I didn't drop the phone. I guess, if you don't sleeve it, if you, don't put a case on it and you put it on a table, it has a good chance that it might actually just crack. But we're booting up the phone. We'll skip ahead. We don't need to do the setup stuff because this phone is already set up. And we're going to take a quick look at the phone. So we'll be right back. Alright, the iPhone has booted, and we are using the iPhone 7 on iOS 10.0.1. I just checked the information here. Let's go to Settings, and General, there we go, and Software Update. I just checked. We are not running 10.0.2 yet, but it's okay because we are on Verizon here on this particular phone, so we don't have that T-Mobile issue, so it's not that urgent that they update it. So I'm sure Martin will do it eventually, but it's not that important. But the first thing I've noticed, just holding this phone, is it's very comfortable to hold. This is a very nice, premium, top-of-the-line phone, but that's to be expected with iPhones. Everybody loves iPhones for the feel. It feels like a great phone. I really like the feel in your hand. Although I do have to note that this is very, very slippery in terms of my grip. My hands do get sweaty. I can't help it. I have moist hands, but this will slip a lot. So you probably should get a case if if you're worried about stuff. But anyway, I am basically using a phone here that reminds me of the iPhone 6s. This is exactly the same as the iPhone 6s in terms of exterior. And it looks like the software on iOS 10 is exactly the same too. Nothing too unique here. But the main difference that we're going to talk about in this video is the home button here. So at first, I was clicking on it, just not even clicking, just putting my thumb over it, thinking that it's going to take me back to the home button and make it like qualify as a press. But it's not like that. It's not like the HTC One A9 or the OnePlus 3, where it's not a button, but you put your finger over it and it qualifies as a press. This is actually, you actually have to press down on it, and then you get a response. The button isn't moving, but it feels like it's clicking down. If you've used the MacBook 20 MacBook 12, the 12-inch MacBook from 2015 or 2016, or the MacBook Pro, you are very accustomed to this because they have the same feature there. So in order to do this, they had to, once again, remove the 3.5mm headphone jack, but it is pretty neat. It is a very neat feature, but it takes a little getting used to. You actually have to click down on it, and you get a feedback from it. You get like a little zzz, a buzz from it. So it's very neat, very fun to play with. We have the 3D touch feature here, and as you can see here, we are getting a lot more stuff than before. So iOS 10 has definitely helped out here. We have a lot of more features, here that we can potentially use now. And basically almost every single icon can be 3D touched here, so very neat. But otherwise, we are looking at a very standard iOS experience here. Nothing too different if you've used iOS before. But let's take a look at the camera. So we can't really do anything intensive right now until we take the phone out and actually go and shoot. But this is also a big selling point to upgrade here, that the camera experience is going to be very, very good. So I can't comment on that yet. We haven't used it yet. But, you know, iPhone cameras are very consistent, very stable, very nice. And from initial impressions, it just seems to be more of the same here. So if it's more of the same, that's actually a very, very good thing. So we'll definitely check that out. We're going to have Martin do a full review for us after a couple weeks of using this phone. But once again, my name is Alex from Sepno Tech. This is the iPhone 7. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get this phone, I highly recommend you get a case for it, because just looking at this and holding this, it feels like a phone that will easily get scratched or very dirty, or, you know, I just think that's your major concern. Otherwise, everything else about this is very premium, very nice. It seems very fast right now, but that's to be expected because it is a new phone. But iPhones in general usually are pretty good experiences for the most part. So once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to comment, subscribe, and like the video. Tell me what you think of the iPhone 7 and what color you think is the best for this year's selection. I actually really like this black here. If this black already gets this fingerprinted, man, the jet black is going to get so much worse. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.